Hello. Today I'm answering a question by my lovely client and student Karine. Karine emailed me a list of questions and they're jolly good questions too. So I picked one of them today to answer with video. I'm just going to read it. It says, how does energy work? Is it through attitude stroke thought that we can turn something negative into a positive? Well, let's think about how energy works. So we are energetic beings in an energetic world. Now, physical is just a kind of illusion, really. It's just energy bonded together with electrical charge so that it forms something fairly solid. It isn't solid in reality. And that's science. That's not me getting all metaphysical on you. It's actually a fact. So energy is constantly made and unmade and changing. Energy is not fixed. The energetic world is not fixed. So we are constantly changing. Everything is constantly changing. Different rates for sure, but nevertheless it is. Now, we are a repository of a huge amount of energetic information, a bit like a microchip, right? If you could see the amount of energetic information that exists within you, it would blow your mind. It's huge, enormous, massive. So you are a kind of microchip, right? Because your size is pretty small in comparison to the massive amount of information that is actually active within you at any one time. The energetic world is a constantly moving creative space. Bonds are being created, bonds are being destroyed, things are being put together anew in a constant, never-ending movement dance. And we are in that dance. So we communicate unconsciously within the energetic world all the time, 24/7. Our microchip is in constant communication with the kind of mothership, which is the energy all around us. I want you to think of it as a kind of mega Google. So it is reading what is active within us. It is reading what we give charge to. It's reading everything that is going on, and it is figuring out what it thinks we want. Our preferences, what we do, what we have habitually learned, it's all informing the energy in which we are moving forward. We think we're making decisions. We're not, really. Pretty much 90% of what we do is on automatic pilot. Very little of it is actually conscious in the moment. It's pretty much all predetermined. And that's a tough call for us because we like to think we're in charge. Sadly, we're not. Sadly, we are just walking forward in this energetic space, and the whole thing is kind of done on our behalf. So how we change that is we become in control of the information that is being put out. Now, that's both simple and complex because we are complex. And also, we're often not particularly familiar with actually what's going on inside us. So let's have a think about positive and negative energy, because we have this massive energetic thing here. We have us, which is energy. Everything's energy. Energy is responding to energy. What about positive and negative energy? How do we deal with that? Well, in real life, there is no such thing as positive and negative energy. It's all just energy. Nothing is actually positive or negative in the way that we term it to be bad or good. It isn't. It's just energy. And it's energy that carries a charge for us. Now, can we change that with our thoughts? We can change the way we think about it for sure. It won't change the energy into anything different, but it will change our response to it. That's important. All energy must exist. We must accept all energy as being part of the picture. It is not within our remit to say this energy must exist and this mustn't. we can express a preference. We are absolutely allowed to express a preference, but we must understand that what we put a charge to is what the energy is reading. So if you have if you are attracted to something, you will move towards it, you will pull it towards you, and you will be pulled back towards it. So there is an attractive pull. If you dislike something, you might repel it. That still takes energy. That takes a lot of energy to hold up a block or a boundary or like that. It does. So we need to be careful what we do with our energy. If something is termed negative energy in our lives, what we actually could do is to remove our response to it and make it irrelevant. Now, when we make it irrelevant, it ceases to become part of what we respond to. If we don't respond to it properly, then it sort of becomes invisible, and so therefore ceases to be part of our energetic communication. If we push something, it pushes back, and that's a fact. So if something is causing us problem, and we're saying something is negative, well, the best way to deal with it, again, change the way we think, is to say, okay, I forgive it, I accept it, that it exists, but I forgive it, and I'm going to move on. Because the more we attach charge to it, the more it will show up in our lives in other ways. Because, I mean, look, we cannot change other people. Even if we think their energy is negative, we can't change them, and neither should we, right? And if you were to say to that person, why are you being so negative? They would say, I'm not being negative. Why are you being negative towards me, right? It's just perception. Now, as humans, we have the right to say what's acceptable and what isn't acceptable, and we must create boundaries and we must move within that. But positive and negative energy within itself are only signposts. What we perceive positive and negative energy to be, they're only signposts. So if we think of a picture, for instance, black paint might be indicative of negative space. That negative space allows other things to pop out of the picture. It allows us to see the picture in 3D. It allows the light to shine through. Negative energy does the same thing, creating negative space to shine a light on where we want to go. It's like a guidance system. It's not right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's just a way of navigating. And that's really important. Everything exists for a reason. And it's how we respond to it that matters most. Now, with regards to our minds actually carry very little energetic charge. We think a million thoughts a day. And each of those thoughts is fairly ephemeral, really. They don't do much. Okay, it's just chatter and noise. It's what we think habitually that carries an emotional charge that makes the difference, because it's the charge that matters. It's our feelings about things that matters. And our feelings about things are what attracts or doesn't attract things to us energetically. That's, if we can keep that front and center, we can become much more adept at managing the direction in which we're walking. The question to ask is, what do you want? What are you walking towards? Because that's what the energy wants to know. What do you actually want? It's reading you all the time, but most of us probably are pretty confusing. So we get all kinds of things showing up for us that we don't want, and we don't know why. It's because there's something alive, something that is causing charge within you. Something is active within you energetically, and that is bringing that into your energetic world. So the more familiar we can get with what's inside, the more we can more effectively captain our energetic ship. So I hope that's interesting. I hope that helped. I hope that answered the question. I'm going to be doing more of this. I'm going to be answering more and more questions. So if you have a question you want to ask me, please do. I'll be very happy to answer it. I find these conversations absolutely fascinating. So I look forward to speaking to you soon, and I will say goodbye for now. Bye-bye.